What is up, Wild Bunch? Welcome to day 95 of the Cam Fats Daily. Guys, today we are taking back some library movies. This is one of them, Justice League, right? And I thought, you know what? While I'm on the way to the library, I will talk to you guys about this movie. So let's do it today, guys. Let's do a movie review. As you guys know, we are in the great state of Ohio here, and it is quite cold out today. It's quite cold out today. You always think like, man, shouldn't it be springtime already? Feels like it. Man, yesterday it was like 80 degrees out here, but today it's down to a ripe old 40 degrees. Now, before I even get into the movie Justice League, let me show you guys a trailer, just in case you haven't seen it, for a point of reference.
Let's do it. All right.
I'll take that as a yes.
What?
The ring.
The world remains in mourning after the death of Superman. Violence, acts of war, and terrorism are all on the rise.
I had a dream. It was the end of the world.
Invasion.
I think it's something more. Something darker.
We're asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
Strong man is strongest alone. You ever heard that? That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. Divided. We are not enough. The world needs Superman. I made him a promise. This is why I brought you together.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
That's a bad signal. That's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
It's so cool.
Okay, now that we have that out of the way, look, thoughts on Justice League. Let me take this in a few categories. All right, I was thinking about this with these movie reviews, and I was thinking, you know what? I think I want to start doing a little bit better movie reviews as far as like, you know, defined. All right, so I came up with a couple of categories that I thought might work. Number one, and these are just things that are important to me in a movie. Okay, does it have a good story? Is the story cool? Number two, is it fun? Is it a fun movie? Do you laugh? Do you get into it? Is it cool? You know? So does it have a cool story? Is it fun? 3, are the graphics so distracting? Are the special effects so distractingly bad? Are the set designs? Is the acting? Is some aspect of the production of this movie so bad that it distracts you from actually enjoying the movie? That's 3. Now keep in mind, some things are so bad they're kind of good, and they add to the character of the movie. But that's 3, okay? So we have story, fun, and production, right? And then 4, let's say music. Story, fun, production, music. All right, that's it. SFPM. Story, fun, production, music. That's it, right? So, with the Justice League, let's talk about the story. The story of the Justice League was really cool, okay? It was basically the idea that this dude Steppenwolf comes back to Earth to get this freaking Triforce looking thing, these mother cubes. They're supposed to come together to form this unity thing, and basically it's going to destroy the Earth and recreate it in Steppenwolf's homeworld's image, basically, the way it appeared to me. I thought the story was pretty cool. It wasn't too complicated to where I couldn't follow it. I mean, I could tell that like there's some deep undertones that link back to the comic books and stuff like that I probably didn't pick up on, because even though I read some of these comics when I was a kid, I wasn't a huge Superman's, you know, Batman, Justice League guy. I didn't follow those books religiously, so I'm sure there's some nuances in this movie that I didn't pick up on. However, the cool thing about it was you could feel them. You could feel the nuances there. There were subtle nuances there, and that really is a credit to the care that I think they took in this movie. So that's one thing. So the story was good. And, you know, it wasn't some kind of crazy amazing story, but it was pretty good. It was a pretty cool story. I saw somebody complaining they didn't like that Superman didn't come into the movie till much later on. It didn't really bother me, man, because it all fit into the story. The way the story played out, it made total sense that he didn't appear right off the bat. All right, 2, fun. Hey, man, this movie was fun. All right, when I went into this movie with very low expectations. I thought it was not going to be very good, because I'd watched a few of the Marvel superhero movies, and they were just like blurs of action. Like they felt just like blurs of action. Like I couldn't keep up with the story. Maybe the stories were too deep for me. I don't know. Maybe you got to watch like all 20 of those Marvel universe movies to be able to pick up on all the nuances. I don't know, but a lot of the stories, they were either just too nuanced for me, or the story just went over my head, because a lot of those Marvel movies just seem like action sequence after action sequence, and I didn't feel that way with this Justice League movie. It didn't feel like action sequence after action sequence after action sequence, even though there was a lot of action in it. It was fun, man. It was a fun movie. I didn't feel like, you ever just watch a movie where there's so much action, it's just a blur. It doesn't even, you're like desensitized to all the action because there's so much action. Didn't feel like that in this movie. You know, I wasn't desensitized to the action. There was a lot of cool parts. There was a lot of fun parts. The movie was PG-13. My one little kid, she wanted to watch it. My little boy, he didn't want to watch it. He was playing his tablet. She watched it with us. She's 12, and it didn't bother her. There are some scenes of violence. It wasn't too bad. It could have been a lot worse. There wasn't any like blood. I don't think. It wasn't really gory, even though it was pretty violent. It was pretty violent, but the violence was so comic bookish. Things seemed so outrageous and outlandish. They didn't feel like real violence, if that makes sense. I don't even know if that makes sense. But it was PG-13, and I did let my 12-year-old watch it, and she didn't have nightmares last night, so you know that's good. And I kind of hesitated letting her watch it, but I did. But the movie was fun. I enjoyed it. When we put the kids to bed, she was talking to me about it, so she enjoyed it too. My wife actually sat and watched the movie with us also, and she seemed to enjoy it too. So that was pretty cool. It's a fun movie. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about with this movie is production value. All right. Now with production value, this movie is like top of the food chain, right? This movie had great production value. This movie had a small army working on it, okay? The amount of people working on Justice League was crazy. So the graphics and the special effects were amazing on this movie. It was a big budget movie, so it's about what you'd expect. The movie had some fun parts in it too. You know, like the part where, you know, the Flash and Superman race to see who's the fastest at the end of the movie. If you get past all the credits, there's another little snippet where the Flash and Superman sitting there and they're gonna race. It's cool, you know. Production on this movie was great, man. It had great acting. Of course, the special effects were amazing. Listen, thinking about a standout here. Okay, I thought number one, Ben Affleck killed it as Batman. He did an amazing version of like this older Batman who'd been fighting crime in Gotham for 20 years. I mean, really cool, man. And you wouldn't think that of Ben Affleck, but he did a really cool job, man. And I like that. And I love that they really point out that he's just a normal guy, you know? In fact, in the movie, he was asked at one time, what's his superpower? He said, I'm rich. That's a superpower. But they did a really good job of pointing out, hey, Batman, Bruce Wayne, is a mortal guy, right? He's a mortal guy, you know, competing with superhumans. And they did a really good job of pointing that out, and it was awesome because, you know, Bruce Wayne, he held his own, you know? And then the other standout of the movie was, of course, you know, Aquaman. Aquaman rocked, man. Aquaman was like pure rock and roll on Justice League. He was like a rebel, man. He was a rebel. So it was really cool to see Aquaman in that way. So those are some standouts with the acting, and I'm just gonna jumble acting into the production value category. They had Danny Elfman doing the soundtrack. If you guys don't know who that is, he's a famous soundtrack guy. He's done a lot of soundtracks for big movies. You know what? I'll put a list to some of the movies he's done the soundtracks for right here. They'll be scrolling right here. I'm not even gonna name them all because he's done some amazing soundtracks. Okay, that's Danny Elfman. One thing I'll say about the music, you guys, is the music, it has nods to the other superheroes. You know, like I heard the theme play from the original Batman movie from 1989. I heard that theme playing in there at one point. I heard the theme playing from the Superman movie from like the early 80s or the late 70s. So I heard some of these old school music scores being played in this movie, and that really like gave it a feel like this is a cool. It just gave it a feel like a substantial feel. Like, man, we're really looking at some legends here, you know, if that makes sense. It made you feel like you're really looking at legends. You know, it was great, man. Everything about this movie was great. This is a good movie. All right, and you know, it's funny because I saw some reviews on this movie. People didn't like it. I don't know, man. I don't know if the people out there who didn't like it, I don't know what they were watching, man, because I thought it was fantastic. On a scale of 5 stars, with 1 being This is horrible. I can't believe I wasted an hour and a half watching this piece of crap. And 5 being, man, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to give this one a 5, guys, because this movie's so good. It makes me want to go back and read like some DC comic books and stuff to learn more about the characters and things like that. It's a really cool movie, man. And it makes me want to go back and watch other DC movies like Batman vs. Superman. Even though I watched that movie and I wasn't that impressed at the time, now I want to go back and watch it again just to see if I missed something, you know? Makes me want to watch that Wonder Woman movie. And it makes me want to look to see if there's an Aquaman movie, because I think there is, but I haven't seen it. I don't know, man. But anyways, that's what Justice League did for me. It made me more interested in the DC movie universe. And I just thought it was awesome. It was a great movie, man. So anyways, that's my take on it. You guys check out the movie. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. Day 95 is a wrap. I'll see you guys. And this is Cam Fats reminding you to do something awesome. Peace, everybody.